that
How's
could
it
have
feel
been
over
satisfied.
there in Canada land, Nova?
Up here in the Great White North. Oh yeah, we're just down here laughing, just drinking our fucking moose milk.
Alrighty, guys, welcome to episode 4 of the Falic Exchange. I am Fate the Tatted Hate, and we're joined as always by Nova. Fuck that up. I saw Nova right there next to the camera. Alright, guys. God damn it. Alright, guys, welcome to episode number 4 of the Falic Exchange. Take 2. I am Fate the Tatted Hate, and we are joined, as always, by Falic and Aku. But today we also have a special guest. You'll see him up over that way, and that is Mr. Nova himself. And today we are going to be delving into the great wide world of video game shooters over time, talk about some of the historical, notable games of our generation, and then talk about some of the newer games that we deal with today, some of the updates, limited time modes that they got going on, and really just where the world of shooters lies right now. So the first thing that we really got on the topic list today is talking about classic shooters. So we're talking about some of the OG ones. We're talking about Perfect Dark. We're talking about Halo. We're talking about GoldenEye, of course. So let me ask you guys, of all of like the old time shooters, whether it be something on the PlayStation or the Super Nintendo or anything like that, what would you say were some of your favorites?
Super Nintendo? We talking Duck Hunt here?
I mean, if you want, it's a shooter. And GoldenEye was on the 64, but shooters are an old genre in video games.
That was the OG VR.
Yeah, I mean, shit, you could do the original Doom back on DOS, so, you know.
Oh, I remember. Oh, dude, that was a good one.
Yeah, you mentioned it on a previous podcast.
Yeah.
Duke Nukem.
I would say
Duke Nukem, yes.
Duke Nukem, that was good, yeah.
That was fun.
Personally, I would say to toss up between GoldenEye, 007 GoldenEye, and Perfect Dark.
Okay.
Because those were my favorites. But the thing is, I think part of the reason I'm picking those is because of the nostalgia effect of them.
Yeah, I mean, that's like the old COD games. Like, they were great at the time, but you look back at them now. But, I mean, that's any
go
game.
play GoldenEye now, see what happens.
I never played any of the Call of Duty games. Like, this most current Modern Warfare is the first one I ever played or bought or anything. I was just never really super big into it. When it came to shooters, I was more of the, like, gimmicky graphics and kind of cartoony style, like, fun stuff. I mean, aside from GoldenEye, which was as real as you could get back in the day. But... and then I never owned an Xbox, so I had nothing to do with Halo.
That's for the best.
So I don't really have any comments on those two. But
I think
Perfect Dark and 007 were very, very good. And I think the only issue Perfect Dark had was coming out so much later after GoldenEye did that it was already established as, like, this is the shooter you play right now.
Looks like Nova's got something to say. For those of you who can't hear because you're listening on Spotify or Apple, he has the Halo Doom guy knockoff helmet. He was just holding up the Halo Doom knockoff helmet.
Uh-huh.
What? Nova looks like he's got something to say. What's going on, buddy?
About the Halo games.
You want to fight about it? I will come to Michigan. We will fight about it.
Let's do it. There we go. Been looking for an excuse to hang out with
My
you.
most in-depth Halo experience is watching Red vs. Blue videos.
The Red vs. Blue
Those are
videos
good.
were great.
Right? That's a product of Halo. Is there any Red vs. fucking Doom videos? No.
No, but there are some really funny videos out there of Doom. There's also some
I
great
saw
COD
a Claymation
videos.
one that was great.
Is it the movie?
There's some
No,
great
okay.
videos out there where people have made funny content out of Fortnite that could happen on any game.
No,
Hey
that's
man,
not
say what you want about
any good.
Fortnite. I like watching that game. Watching people who are good at that impresses me.
It's not that bad of a game. Like, to watch it, it's not bad. To play it, it's complicated as hell.
Yeah, I tried playing it once for like half an hour and it wasn't happening, but watching skilled people is entertaining.
I'm a Nova on this one.
But, all right, Nova, favorite old video game. What do you got?
Mario Kart, bro.
Mario Kart?
Yeah. Battles, that's a shooter. You gotta shoot those fucking balloons.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
It's not really first person shooter though.
I'll allow
No,
it.
No, but GoldenEye was my favorite.
GoldenEye was great. GoldenEye was where it was at.
GoldenEye was
Perfect.
like a family thing for us. Like we would do like at Thanksgiving we would have GoldenEye tournaments through like everyone in the family.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, slappers only.
But there are times
Good job.
that I have cemented in my mind, and our good friend Mr. Icepork knows a lot of these ones, and it's like the LAN parties we used to have on Xbox playing Halo. We'd bring like 4 old style, like, you know, everything's flat screen now, so it only weighs like 3 pounds, but like imagine lugging a 40-pound tube TV that's like a 40-inch at least. Like you're bringing that to your buddy's place, and you got your Xbox in like a book bag, and man, we used to hook them up in the basement, and we'd have 4 of us just like, it was insane. Like the amount of jokes.
And the consoles were so big, you needed 3 book bags just to put it in.
Oh man, like we were screaming at each other, fucking just tormenting each other. My dad came downstairs, like thought that my brother was being super racist one day.
So speaking of LAN parties though, I want to bring this up. Do you remember Mr. Khan or whatever his name was?
Sorry,
No.
Who?
Star Trek.
Okay, well, our teacher.
Well, I got that reference. I didn't get the Mr. Khan.
I forget what his name was, Mr. something, whatever. Well, we used to play Unreal Tournament during our
Oh, yes.
Yo,
in our computer lab.
I used to sneak
And
my
it was funny
laptop
'cause-
into Spanish class and play Unreal
no,
Tournament
no.
3.
No, we
They-
had a
this was
gaming
back-
club at school, and so after work, like
Wow.
15, 20 of us would just pass around the Unreal and Tournament install disc and load it up on the school PCs and play
That's
Capture the
great.
Flag.
That's awesome.
Yep. And well, the
I
best
forgot
part
about
was
that.
is you'd hear a lecture, he'd be lecturing something, and everyone's not even paying attention. They're just looking at his computer, but their screens are slightly tilted,
Mhm.
so we can't see what we're doing. And also out of nowhere, you hear, "You son of a bitch!" Oh fuck. And you just continue
I never
lecturing.
played it in mid class. This was every time I did that. It was always after school in the library, like farm of computers.
Mm.
Oh no, this was during one of our classes because the assignments we were given were so easy. We finished them so quickly.
Yeah,
We
the,
just
the
get
game
done
I
and
played.
then-
The game I played in class was in CAD class, the one we took after you did like the actual draw by hand stuff. And
Yep,
when we finished making our drawing, we'd play that little like 8-bit go through the dirt worms game where you battle the crap out of each other.
I
with,
remember
like,
that one
missiles and
too.
stuff.
Yeah,
I loved worms.
Yeah, we
Worms
used
was
to
a
do
good
that.
game. We played too.
I used to do Unreal Tournament 3 all the time. I had a like crappy Toshiba laptop that somehow ran it, and I would sneak it into Spanish class and just be in the back of the room playing that.
Nice.
So, but yeah.
So shooters really are nostalgia overall.
Oh,
I gotta say.
absolutely. I mean,
Did
you look.
you at least play the game in Spanish language setting?
No. No.
I'm
I don't
doing
even
the
think my-
assignment.
I don't even think my
It's just,
Spanish
you know-
teacher could have done it in Spanish. Dude, she was the worst.
know.
She just, I don't even think she knew Spanish. Not even gonna lie. She would just like sit for 10 minutes, write words on the board, have us translate them. Sit for 10 minutes, translate them on the board. Like I swear she was looking them up. So,
So do you think back then, let's say only console because PC is almost the same. Would you say console shooters were harder back then than they are now?
I think they were harder back then because they had less developed mechanics.
I remember I tried to play 007 on a USB N64 controller, and like you had to use like the C buttons, move up and down and right and all that. I'm so used to having the 2 thumbsticks with the Xbox controller now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
But yeah, the lack of dual thumbsticks makes going back and playing that game extremely difficult.
I was like, how the hell did I ever play this game and like win? Like,
All
I'm
you
moving
had,
so
man. You
slow.
were good back then. You adapt.
Yeah. What about you, Nova? What were your thoughts on that?
Well, it's like this. It's why I can't get into playing CS:GO anymore, or why I could never even get into Valorant,
Yeah.
because I feel Valorant, like everyone's like, oh, Valorant, and I'm like, it looks like you're playing a modern version of 007 or like one of these like very lame mechanical fucking games that they're just there's no movement to them. They're and, oh, you might be able to lean. That's about it.
Yeah.
And it's like going back to that to what we have now, where you can run, slide, jump off shit. I don't know. there's more levels and more mechanics in like more modern games than those games. So playing those games and enjoying those games, yeah, it's all nostalgia. But,
yeah, and it's as games have gone on, like, and not even in a few, because like if you look something like Apex, like there's a very like with wall jumping and stuff, like there's a very futuristic type mechanic there. But even if you look at something like the new COD, the movement, there's nothing special about it. You could run, jump, slide, that's about it. But it still feels way smoother than games used to be. So it makes it very difficult to go back and play those older games.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's just, everything feels way smoother. The mechanics are way better. The aiming is way better. The actual, like, because in the past, it used to, like, take some time, but there was a huge, like, latency between actually clicking and something happening on the screen. All of that kind of coming together makes it very difficult for me to play old shooters sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, not even just like the mechanics of playing, right? But like just because the graphical, capacity of video games has increased dramatically, you go back and play something that looks like it's 1 pixel every like inch and a half. You're like, I can't even just look at this game anymore, let alone play the bad controllers. Like it's just bad.
Yeah. That's why everyone wants backwards compatibility on the new systems. It's like, why? I'm not gonna play that shit anyway. Like, I got 4K.
I mean, I'm gonna replay Drake 1 almost yearly, but
yeah, but still, I don't know, man.
So, yeah, go ahead.
God, I was gonna say, so
Well,
you're killing me.
right?
What the hell? Oh, yes! Yes!
That was the kind of graphics we're
Yep.
talking about.
Honestly, it's really blurry, so it looks like John Goodman's head.
Yeah, dude,
Like
look
that-
at him. He doesn't-
That's
I mean,
007. That's GoldenEye right there, man.
Yep. Look at
that-
Metal
look at
Gear
that
Solid
Drake.
1 or Tomb Raider 1, dude. It was
Actually-
nuts.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Oh yeah.
no,
Tomb
no,
Raider.
no.
With
That
the-
actually, I'm glad you showed that because that actually brings up
the
a good
triangular.
point. Hitboxes.
Yes.
Hitboxes.
Yep, the triangular Tesla truck titties. Yeah.
Like you knew what you were gonna hit when you shot back then, but now it's like okay,
Oh,
it depends on
dude,
the
just look
shape
at
of the
Pathfinder.
person.
Well, yeah, everybody was
Well, they
cubicle.
fixed
It was
them,
really
apparently.
easy.
So
Yeah,
they
well, like-
released, they made the hitbox slightly larger, but there's still blatant areas of him that there's no hitbox for. Like his shoulder cannons, you go right through them. You go right through them. There is no. People are like, oh, his hitbox is a little bit bigger now. Like that's great, but why are there still parts of him that you can't hit? Just take them off the character model or add a hitbox to it. I don't understand why this is so complicated. But I digress.
Well, so all right, so I guess do you think it's easier to aim on mouse and keyboard, or do you think that a controller with aim assist is better?
Well, I can't really speak a whole lot.
Speaking of trying to hit Pathfinder,
yeah.
Yeah, I don't have any experience playing like the modern games on controller with aim assist in terms of like the Modern Warfares and the BRs and stuff like that. But I will say, playing some shooters recently on the PlayStation, what bothers me is the amount of input lag on the controller to the console. And I feel like I'll miss a lot of shots because I'm panning over, and then when reticle meets person, I let go of the stick, but there's still like a half second of input there, and so I shoot to the other side of it, and you almost have to like guess and let go early to hit.
You do that on mouse and
anyways.
keyboard anyway.
Not usually. Usually I just go and when I'm over there and then I click.
This explains
Also,
why
I
he misses
see what
wingman
you,
shots all the time.
now I see where you're going with that.
Where I hit him? No. Okay, you were like literally 3 feet to his left. You went over him. You did not hit him directly.
It's a shotgun, though. You still got to get it in the box.
You still got to hit that
man.
broadside of the barn.
Shotguns are supposed to go like this.
Yeah, within the box that they tell
Okay,
you.
when you shoot, it reminds me of that Grand Tour episode where they go in the truck and they're just trying to literally shoot a barn. And he has a fucking 50 cal machine gun and he just shoots all around it, but doesn't hit the barn.
Like
how
trying
would
to shoot a bullet
how
with
would
another
you-
bullet while riding a horse blindfolded?
How would you know what his shooting looks like? You're always in the other side of the map.
Fuck up. I knew there was a comeback there somewhere. I was waiting for it.
Gotta evenly disperse, everybody. Gotta evenly disperse.
Bazinga.
Okay, so well,
But
I
yeah.
won't get specifically into like the aim assist with the controller versus.
Yeah, so I'm someone who even once I switched to PC, I still use the controller for a long time. I went back and forth between keyboard and mouse and controller for a while for Overwatch, Apex, etc. The one thing that I'll say when it comes to aim assist, it helps a little bit with tracking a target. And you really see that if you browse Reddit and look up Apex clips, like when somebody's moving, like it's much easier to track. But I mean, you do still need a lot of control, and you need a lot more precision over the analog sticks because there's a lot of not necessarily latency issues, but there's a lot of dead zones, stuff like that that tends to come into play. But where I noticed aim assist the most was when it comes to any sort of close quarter fight. It's a little bit in Apex, it's a little bit in COD. It was super prominent in Fortnite. Fortnite had an overpowered aim assist for controllers because if you were looking at the guy, what you would do is, especially if you had like their pump shotgun, you quickly hit L2 and basically in order to aim, and what it would basically do it would basically almost magnetize. As long as you were close to the guy, it would magnetize the actual reticle onto the guy, and then you fire the shot. So the trick with the controller from an aim assist standpoint was to not always be ADSing. You only ADS very quickly right before you shoot. So you kind of hover over the guy, L2, R2 very quickly in order to get the shot off. So it wasn't that much. If somebody knows how to really use aim assist, it helps. But like most people have no idea how to actually utilize aim assist, so they always complain. They're like, "Oh no, aim assist doesn't help me at all." It's like, well, no, because you're not using it. That's why you have a
I will say,
0.4 KD. Like that's why.
One streamer I know that plays controller on PC and is actually really fucking good at it.
Are you talking Cool Dan?
Yep.
Okay. Yep.
Dude, even when he doesn't ADS, like he is on point with his shots. Like I've seen it. And I'm just like, okay, that's impressive.
Where
I watched him today with the R301. He just like lasered it, and I was like, dude, you're on a controller.
Yep. Where you'll see the big difference there is as the range goes up, like there's a higher skill gap on PC with mouse and keyboard. But so like I've talked to Cool Dan about it when we've played together. A flatline with a 3 times he cannot use because the kick is way too high, and on controller it's way too hard to control. Flatline with a 3 times for me on mouse and keyboard, not a problem. Because once you get used to it, you have way more control. And I still typically use flatline with the 2 times, but that's besides the point. But the control is there. It's a little bit harder to learn, but the control is there. There's ways to bridge the gap.
Yeah.
But when it comes to keyboard and mouse versus like console or using a controller, like there's just way more advantages that you have with a keyboard and mouse.
Yeah. Nova, got anything to add to that?
I don't use control, so I don't know, but isn't when you use controller with Apex, doesn't you get aim assist?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And if I'm correct, the aim assist is actually stronger using a controller on PC than it is if you're using a controller on a console.
Yes.
Because it's balancing, because otherwise you're just going to get mopped with people on keyboard and mouse.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So like when is it no longer skill and just aim assist?
That's a fine line. I think they're always trying to tune. I mean, I couldn't give you an answer on that, but
yeah, where I see the actual skill with console players is when people like Cool Dan does it very well. When their movement is on par as well. Like for me on mouse and keyboard, movement is way easier. Doing a bunny hop or doing a wall jump or something like that. Unless you have a specialized controller like a Scuff or a Razer or something like that, it's very, very difficult to have really good fine-tuned movement on a controller because just your hands you can only push so many buttons with your thumbs at one time. So
Well, that too, and then like
You got
just
big
like the rotational speed. Like if you're gonna spin 180, you're limited to just how fast it wants to move, unless you
Yep.
up the sensitivity a lot, which then makes dialing anything else harder.
Yep.
On mouse and keyboard, you're limited to how fast can you move your hand.
Yeah.
So like, I'm gonna bring this up because I want to bring up Cold War with this because Call of Duty is a big competitive game,
Mm-hmm.
and the actual pro scene is actually console still.
Yeah, I think a
So,
lot of that just
like,
availability and
no, it is
from a
it is,
tournament
but I mean,
standpoint, it's hard to get
but
a LAN with a crap ton of PCs.
right,
PS4s
the
are
thing,
$200 now.
the reason I bring it up though is like, so the pro Call of Duty scene,
Mm-hmm.
they're on console, they're using controller, but does that transfer over to mouse and keyboard at all? You're wondering, because I've seen people play with controller, like pros, and then they get onto like CS:GO or something like that or whatever game,
Mm-hmm.
and they absolutely murder with mouse and keyboard as well. So it's like, well, okay,
There's way more, especially on a professional level, there's way more that comes into account than just aiming. I mean, game sense is probably more important than anything else. That situational awareness, knowing where the people are, knowing how to read the map. I mean, that's why you take, like, I think even that Rogue company even, like, hired Dr. Disrespect to make a map for them because he's one of those people that just has presence of mind when playing the game, understands looking at the map from a strategic standpoint, where to go, where the choke points are, stuff like that, where people are going to be. And even if the aim isn't the best out of a player, that other stuff will still give them an advantage on the battlefield. And that's why regardless of whether they're using keyboard and mouse or controller, they're still able to perform well because all of those other things aren't dependent on the system or the actual input device.
that's for sure. I agree with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Game
I mean,
sense is like a
that's-
huge thing. I agree. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
that's one
awareness.
of the reasons-
Like, when you're
it's one of the
focusing
reasons
on
I
this
watch
guy,
them.
being able to notice that this guy is up here.
There's so many
Yeah.
people that don't have it. I hate randoms.
That's one of the reasons I like watching X Factor play Apex, is
Mhm.
because like he comes from like a coaching style perspective, and he primarily does queue up with randoms like most
Mhm.
of the time, and he'll shout out in game chats like, oh, this is a bad fight, we need to go over here because this reason and this reason. So like while you're watching, you kind of get like a, oh yeah, maybe it is smarter to just bail and then go in this and get a better position rather than just like go in guns blazing and get murdered like I like to do all the time.
I was about to say,
Yeah.
you go around the corner, you'll always stand there. You won't even get behind cover.
Stone does that a lot too. He cues in with
Sometimes I don't
randos and coaches and shit like that too.
Sometimes I don't have time for cover,
Oh,
all right? Sometimes I hear nothing, I walk around a corner, and it's just like, ah! Dead.
You know, I can't even say. I should take back what I say about randoms. It's not even randoms because sometimes randoms, you're right. They are good. They are fun to play with. Whatever. It's like real life friends of mine that I have that are casual gamers. They don't play as much as I do or we do, and we'll play with those guys a couple times a week. And then if I'm spectating because I'm dead, fall damage or shit. And it's just like watching what they're doing. It's like, oh my god, yeah, C4. It's just
Yep.
like sitting there watching. It's like, oh, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? Don't do that. No, do this. Try that.
The
And it's like,
urge to
oh.
backseat drive when spectating is so strong.
Oh,
And it's just like it's like sitting there just watching this like one guy, and he's like crouched behind a rock, and he's going this way, and you can see somebody over here, and you're like, dude, to your left. Like, but I'm thinking, I'm not trying to say it because I'm not a backseat gamer, right? So I'm sitting there, it's like, dude, to your left, he's right there. Look to your left, and
Yeah.
then all of a sudden, like that guy to the left, like sneaks up behind him and knifes him, and he's like, man, I didn't see that guy coming in anywhere.
Oh, really?
I mean,
People just get
To give-
blinders
to-
and look at that guy and have
to
no
give them the
peripheral.
benefit of the doubt there's several times where I'm spectating and I feel like I see literally everything on the map, and I know a lot of the times when I'm actually playing and I'm just kind of focused on like the smaller portion of the screen in front of me, and I miss obvious stuff like that too. Like I get it. It's super easy when you're not the one playing to notice literally everything.
Yeah, some of the stuff and some of the movement is just, oh man, it's hilarious. And then you spectate people that play the game on a regular basis, and it's like, man, you watch this person do like a 1v3 and they just mop the floor with them. It's like, yeah.
I've been watching Fab a lot lately, and honestly, there are times where he'll take a shot, and I'm like, "What the freak are you shooting at?" And then like I look, and then he'll be go down. I'm like, I didn't even see that guy. What the hell? Like,
That's one of the main reasons why I never got into the Call of Duties, because of their more hyper realism compared to every other shooter that I had played in the past. Like, people are just way too good at seeing things and spotting things. Like, I could probably play a campaign mode, no problem, but like when it comes to real people you're playing against, I'll get shot before I even know anybody's anywhere near me, because it's supposed to be camouflage and blend into your background and hard to spot, and you need to just find like those micro movements in the background where you're like, that's not supposed to be there, I'm gonna shoot it.
Mm-hmm.
But like, yeah. Now that I've played Apex for a long time, and that game is more bright and vibrant, and it's, a lot easier to spot people, I've kind of gotten used to it. So when I did hop into the new Modern Warfare a few times, I didn't feel as blind.
Mm-hmm. It's also just learning to effectively use cover, because I've noticed like every time that we find ourselves in the middle of the open in Warzone, that's when we get destroyed, because there's no cover. It's super it's COD. It's easy to place shots over a distance on people. Like it's pretty easy. So if you're caught in the open, you're going to have a bad time.
Yeah,
So
and
it's just
in that
moving
game
while
is
using cover.
super quick too. So
Oh,
like
yeah.
generally speaking, if you can get the jump on somebody and you aren't absolutely garbage,
Mm-hmm.
you're generally gonna win.
Yep, absolutely. But so yeah, like you started mentioning the new Cold War a little bit.
yep.
What's everyone's
And
thoughts
I
on
love
that?
it. It's so good.
All right, well, there's one guy's thoughts on that.
It's okay. If it means anything, it's what got me back into Warzone,
Okay.
because I started playing the beta and I was like, oh, this feels smooth. I really like how how the mechanics are in this, and like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I tried Warzone again. And I was like, oh, I'll give it another shot, and it was pretty close. But I think that the new COD Cold War is but wow, I can't speak today. Is a bit is a bit smoother than the current Call of Duty.
Smoother than you are right now. Oh, bazing!
I myself, I don't find it any more or less smooth. It feels like it's built on pretty much the same platform. If you play the Modern Warfare, like, multiplayer, it feels very similar from a mechanic standpoint. The guns are nowhere near. I mean, they're 90s guns. Nothing really special about them. They're not futuristic, which is nice. I'm glad that they decided to not go futuristic for a change with a Treyarch title. But
set in the past, but
yeah,
anyway.
yeah. So my big thing though, while the game didn't feel bad per se, it feels entirely unnecessary. It doesn't feel different enough from Modern Warfare to warrant another $60 for the game. And Modern Warfare, where they have it right now and with the way that they update it, they can easily get another year out of it between battle passes, LTMs, new content, everything like that. Like, we're at a period of gaming right now where any company can do that. Like, there's no need for a new Madden every year or a new FIFA every year. Even if you really, like, I would be fine if they just release COD at $70 or $80 with, a battle pass that you can buy, and it's a 2-year life cycle. I would be totally fine with that, and they would still make a ton of money off of it. But like every year, a new one. It's kind of an like antiquated concept at this point, and it just doesn't feel new enough. It doesn't feel different enough to warrant a whole new game.
Yeah, when you go in the multiplayer of that, is it any new or different modes than the multiplayer
There's a
modes
few.
in Modern Warfare?
Yep, there's a few.
Yeah,
So,
but even
if
those
you
would
wanted to
easily
make a
just be
new
able to be an
game-
update.
Right, I was gonna say, even if you wanted to make a new game, like I get maybe making like a $30 or $40 game to be like, here's this Cold War campaign that we've come out with to set you back at this timeline, and you can run through that. But for all of your multiplayer needs, there's this game that already exists and came out less than a year ago.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, me personally, Fate, you don't think so, but me personally, I think the game feels smoother. I like just the way that, because I only played multiplayer because they didn't have Warzone or anything like that integrated during the beta. But overall, like I felt like it was overall smoother. I felt that the graphics were better. I think they were cleaner. They weren't as how do I say they weren't as grainy, I guess.
Compared to Warzone or compared to Modern Warfare, even in its
Modern Warfare
level?
in its current state. I think it looks
wasn't as
better
grainy,
overall.
but it was less realistic.
Mm,
There's a lot of purposeful imperfections in the graphics of Modern Warfare because it makes it look more realistic. Cold War and the Black Ops games in general are too polished that it makes them look fake.
no.
Interesting.
I mean,
thought. I
so-
haven't looked at them close enough to really make that kind of comparison, but it's interesting the way you phrase it.
Yeah. Like the reflections are too perfect, the lines are too perfect, it's all too polished that it makes it look computer generated.
I guess I might be able to agree with that. I think so. I have to play it again and compare the two.
It's
'Cause
not
it's been, like, what, a month?
necessarily a bad thing per se, it's just a matter of fact thing for me. I don't care whether it looks realistic or whether it looks, flashy and cool, like they both have their merits, but
Yeah.
they are different styles of
Yeah.
generation.
I mean, yeah, I personally could care less about the hyper realism either because I, as an Apex Legends fan, I like that more cartoony kind of style graphics where it's not like, hand drawn or anything, but it's not. It's very much meant not to be super realistic. Like I know you're not a big fan of the cell shading Borderlands graphics, but I think those look really cool.
They
I like how
cool,
those look, but I don't like playing those games. Nova, what do you think? What are your thoughts on the beta? Or did you not play it?
Well, I didn't play it, so I'm going to Will Ferrell these from old school and speed run your talking points here right quick, so let me get through them. What did I like about it? It's got zombies again, so that's pretty fucking cool. I'm gonna be really, really happy about zombies. What I don't like about it is the fact I gotta spend another $100 on a video game when I'm still playing this one.
And enjoying
Integration
this
with
one.
Warzone, thoroughly enjoying this one. Integration with Warzone is I don't understand because everything that I read basically said that they're trying to make sure that we keep our progression, we keep our weapons, we keep everything that we've worked so hard with Modern Warfare's Warzone and move it over to this game, which makes zero sense because guess what? Cold War didn't have these kind of weapons. So
Yeah.
I'm going to be able to play Cold War with people that are using these old-ass AKs and, M14s or whatever.
The only way I could see that working is if they used the Cold War thing as a second map, or you would spawn with different types of gun loadouts.
Or if they
That's
just
the only way I think it could work.
just remove loadouts in the Cold War. But yeah, I don't know. That
And it doesn't make any sense to me. So we'll see in a couple of weeks what happens. And
Yeah.
then this whole COD yearly releasing, you got a point. Like, it's 2020. These companies got to get with the times. Like, there's no reason why we have a Madden every year, an NHL every year, a FIFA every year. Why are we getting COD every year now? If fucking Rockstar can come out with Grand Theft Auto 5 7 years ago, and that game is still thriving, I own 3 copies of that game through all my systems.
Me
Like,
too.
but it's the same game, and they update it all the time, and it's always new stuff. Like, why can't they do that?
Yeah. And they make a killing doing it too. That
I
game
mean,
does
I don't
well.
play any of the sports games. My only understanding is why they keep making them is because they have to make a new game now because it's another year and the roster might have changed
The
slightly.
only thing, well, no, that's what I was going to say. The only reason to make a new sports game is if they change the engine that the graphics are
Or that.
released on or some shit. I don't know if you can do that with a software update. I don't friggin' know. But you can have a battle pass or an update where, guess what? It updates the roster to the new season.
That's true. They could just push a patch or something
My
like that.
God!
and update it.
Yeah. No, it's not
So-
difficult to
so-
do.
A buddy of mine who you guys all know and hate, Crash, the former Call of Duty pro I
I
know.
don't hate him.
I don't have any problem
Bandit?
with Crash.
No, I'm
Crash
just talking about
Bandicoot?
in game. You guys hate him because he's really good.
Oh.
I mean, that's
I don't hate Crash Bandicoot.
I got his opinions on it too, and I wanted to bring it up is because like I said, he used to play competitively like and he was a sniper pro, but still, even then, he said that the sniping system's fantastic. He loves it a lot better than Modern Warfare. He thinks that he agrees with me on the whole movement being smoother, and he thinks that this Call of Duty is going to blow Modern Warfare out of the water, according to him.
I mean, I hope it does, because I want to justify paying for the game. That's like saying that I hope that the new president fails or something. It's like, no, I hope for success, as much as, we all might doubt it. I doubt that the new Call of Duty is going to do that, but I hope that it does, because I want it to be a good game.
Modern Warfare, when Modern Warfare released a year ago, I jumped the bandwagon. I was like, yeah, I'm going to pre-order this game. I got the big expensive one because I haven't played Call of Duty on PC ever. This is the first Call of Duty game that I got on PC, so I was really excited. Because I just built this thing, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to get the first Call of Duty that comes out that's built for this computer. And within the first 2 days, I was horribly disappointed to the point that I tried to get a refund for that game. It was so buggy. It did not run properly. Like, nothing fucking worked. And then, you know what? No, I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna keep playing it. And here we are, almost a year later, and like, I've gone through every single battle pass, start to finish, and it's just like, but you look at that texture glitch they were having last season. That was a big thing.
Still not fixed.
And it's back again. Like,
even when I picked up the game for the first time, I was downloading it and I was trying to hop in, some custom lobbies that we were all doing, and I had to sit there trying to figure out how to make the game load past the starting screen without crashing, and everybody else was too busy playing the game. Nobody wanted to help me troubleshoot, so I just sat there mad for 3 hours trying to get the game to work and then left.
Yeah, I don't understand the problem where these massive AAA title companies release unfinished games or have bugs that are this prevalent for this long. I don't understand it. Like, you got a company like CDK Project Red who's getting so much shit right now because they delayed the release of the Cyberpunk game. But I'm totally fine with them delaying the release of a game. If when I pay $60 for that game, I have a full functioning game. No problem doing that at all.
Yeah.
Like,
multiply that by 1.5 for me.
Huh?
Multiply that by 1.5 for me, because I got to pay $100 for it. So.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you're up in
Connecticut.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same right now with the World of Warcraft expansion. I know you guys, it's not a shooter game or whatever, but like, the people all the big streamers and all those guys were playing the alpha, playing the beta, and they're like, guys, we're getting real close to release date, and this ain't ready, and they delayed it at least a full month. I think was about the time there, and when they announced the delay, people were like, thank God, fix it and don't release garbage.
Yeah, and it's understandable when, to some degrees, when you look at the market and the competition from other companies, because like with the Xbox versus PS5 right now, basically if PS5 comes out with their console, which I think is this Friday that they're coming out with it, if Xbox, for some reason, due to a glitch, were to delay their release another month, then they stand to lose a lot of money, because those people that were kind of on the fence but maybe wanted the Xbox are now going to buy the PS5 because it's available now instead of waiting a month. It is the same thing with a lot of games. Like, I think it was Persona that was coming out at the same time as one or two other big, like, JRPGs, and they, like, didn't do, or they did do, I can't remember entirely the story, but the delaying of the game really became dependent on when these other companies were going to be releasing their information, because if they delay it, then people are going to end up buying this game and not buying this game. There's no excuse for that when it comes to Call of Duty, because there's no big competition. Like, is Battlefield even really a thing anymore? Like, who gives a shit? Like, it has barely any market share, though. Like, look at Call of Duty versus Battlefield when you look at overall sales, and look on them on Twitch. Like, Call of Duty's like 200K, Battlefield's like 200. Like, it's not even like there's no big competition out there now for Call of
That's a
Duty.
bit of a over-exaggeration.
Over exaggeration, but like you get what I'm saying. Like there's no reason, like there's no one that's going to be like, oh well, I'm not buying COD, and instead I'm gonna get this because there's no this for them to buy right now. Like there's no other big competitive shooters out there that are like COD.
So since we're talking about content and yearly crap and all that shit, I want to bring up adding content. So like as they are called LTMs, limited time
Modes.
What's the last one? Modes. That's what it is. I was like, should it be events, LTEs? But
They call them both.
yeah. So yeah, for those that don't know that are listening, they're basically just like for like a week or two, there'll be modes that they'll put into games, and it's completely different from the normal game. So like Apex recently had their Halloween mode, which had zombies and all that. Yeah, I thought it was fun.
I played
fun.
it for 3 hours queuing with randoms, and then that was it. But
I preferred Warzones.
Yeah. Warzones was really good.
So I didn't play it at all because I never had my game updated. But I did finally like go back and watch somebody's YouTube video on it, and I kind of wish I did play it. It looked really good. I will admit it looked really good.
Yeah.
Although it was kind of funny the similarities between the two.
Yeah, I found like last year's Apex Halloween event was I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. It was fun. It was Kings Canyon at night, and Revenant was there, and whatever. And you're like, ooh.
New things.
But then with Warzone, their event was I was like, okay, that's definitely it was good. It was fun. It was entertaining. It didn't get boring. They had several different things to do, like the trick or treat event in Warzone. So you go around trying to find those boxes.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they also had the zombie mode, and then they had in multiplayer. I don't know if you guys played it or not, but there was everyone had pumpkin heads. It was hilarious. Just everyone running around with pumpkin heads, and if you got 2 or 3 kills, it was on fire. You're running around with a flaming pumpkin. I'm just like,
I didn't actually play that one.
Yeah, the multiplayer part of the Halloween event.
Huh.
I never tried it.
Yeah,
it was
just
trippy.
did Warzone, but yeah.
Yeah, because, man, I'm telling you right now, it was so easy just to go prone in a bush, and then someone's like, oh, there's a pumpkin there, but then the pumpkin kills you. And you're like, oh, son of a bitch, I forgot. It was a lot of fun. And people are getting so mad about it because it's like, I keep forgetting that everyone has a pumpkin head. So when you see someone prone and you just see a pumpkin there, you're not thinking in your head that's something I have to shoot.
They got cute little decorations.
And I was just sitting,
It's like
I'm sitting there with an EBR, and I'm just like, oh, pumpkin pop, oh, pumpkin pop, oh, pumpkin pop. Like, it was just nothing. It was hilarious. But then, like, the Apex event, I just found it was, we played it once, and okay, cool.
Yeah, it lost its
luster
really quick, I felt, the Apex one.
And
I
like
wasn't a fan
that
of the
you
fact
couldn't-
that the zombies kept coming back over and over again. Like, in
Yeah, the fact
Warzone,
that you
when you
couldn't get
killed
your
the
squad
zombie,
back.
the zombie was gone. But you can revive your buddy.
But I did like the mechanic they had that where you could unzombie and come back to another person if you found
Yeah.
like the little injection thing. I thought that was neat.
Yeah, that made it
But,
like way more fun to me.
The biggest problem I had with the Apex one is that there was even bugs in it. Like half the time you'd come flying down, the other half the time you randomly respawn into like the middle of like 5 teams. It's
So
like wait,
it was designed that there was some method to that. In early
Yeah.
game when the circle was big, you'd spawn randomly. As the circle got tighter, to give them a little bit of an advantage of not having to spawn and then be right on top of the players again, they dropped you in, so you still had that little bit of delay from respawn to actually being able to help.
Yeah. And there
That's
were
fair.
certain areas, like it would show on the map, like on the radar there, like where the zombies were spawning. So,
that's true. That is
Yeah.
true. Okay.
Yeah, like I said, I only played it for through 1 3-hour session. 2 or so which of hours I actually found a couple randoms that we just squatted up and just kept queuing together the whole time, which was fun.
Yeah.
So, but I enjoyed it. Like I said, I think I would have had a lot of fun on the Warzone one.
What the actual?
it's PS2 Haggard, dude.
So do you think
anyway.
that do you think the LTMs actually help games, or do you think it hurts them?
Oh, no, I think it helps them. As long as it's a good LTM. If it's
Yes.
a bad LTM,
Yeah, we
then it could lead
played
to
the
people not
absolute
playing.
crap out of that train mode in Apex last winter, and
Oh,
that
God,
was
yeah.
Fun. Oh
That
my
was
God,
so
that
much.
was so much fun.
That mode was
Oh,
fun.
The Christmas event?
Yes.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, that
was
one was a
good event.
blast. No, I definitely they helped to keep the game feeling fresh. That was one thing that like Fortnite did very well. Was like every weekend there was something new, and they had a constantly rotating series of game modes that games that have emulated that have done well, but that's one of the main reasons why, if you look from a viewership standpoint and from a player base standpoint, Apex has done horribly because it takes them
Absolutely. I will give
so
you that.
long to update anything, and it takes them so long to implement. Like, they're kind of starting to do it now, and I have high hopes for this new season because it's a
Yeah,
new
I'm
map.
really
Like, the new character looks finally good because, let's face it, Rampart was
It
terrible.
looks like a character that out the box might have to need some tuning down as opposed to up.
Yeah, and
She looks like she'll be OP.
it looks like because she's a mobile character, she's kind of a mix of Zarya from Overwatch and Octane because she's a very mobile character with very tactical abilities. And I think that's going to be big. I think we'll actually see some use out of her because how often do you see a Loba or a Rampart now? It's almost never.
I don't know. Did any of you guys reach the patch notes yet? They're
Uh,
doing
read-
a lot of
Mhm.
good tweaks.
Yep.
Like you can grab the Loba's alt items are the only thing that take up slots, but you can pull as much ammo
Yep.
from
As
anywhere.
much ammo as
possible.
you want.
Which
Yep.
I think it's a pretty solid upgrade.
Yeah, and
And you're-
Rampart's
you're
also
right,
going to
like-
take less time to
Yeah,
actually
I think
get full.
the Mirage alt update is going to be pretty solid. Each of the decoys now is 45 HP.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yep, because that's how you know when you're hitting the right Mirage is because you're doing damage.
Right.
Well,
you
now
don't
it's
just
going to be more
instantly
difficult. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
and-
really
and
know
I'm
if that
glad-
was necessary, but
I'm glad they made it though, so like it's not like cover. You can't like deploy a decoy and then hide behind it. So if
Mhm.
you hide behind it and they shoot the decoy, it'll take the damage and not despawn until it takes the full
Mhm.
wingman shot of damage. But you'll still get hit behind it if you're hiding behind it, so you will still take damage.
Gotcha.
Behind
that
what?
makes
I'm sorry, I missed that part.
If you pull a decoy and try to hide behind it as cover, it doesn't work.
Interesting.
So the decoy will still stay there and take its full 45 damage before it disappears, but the bullet passes through it and will still hit whatever's behind it.
You're talking about Mirage?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Where were you the last 5 minutes?
He looks like he's typing stuff.
Yeah, I was.
I have the notes up to the corner and I see them moving and updating.
It's multitasking
Yep.
Okay.
during the podcast. Wow. But
It's
yeah.
for the podcast.
But yeah, other than that though, the new map, it looks like it'll be interesting. It's a very, very big change of pace. It doesn't look anything like what we've seen. Honestly, it
I'm
looks
glad.
like the Pokemon
Oh.
maps from the new games. Like, it's
It
very
does,
bright,
actually.
it's very
It does-
vibrant.
it does.
I
I'm
forget
all
the name
for
of
it,
the
though, I'm
region. It
excited.
begins with an S, like Shimona or something like that. I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah.
Shimona, a little Michael Jackson in there. I don't
Well,
remember what it's called, but it looks like one of those maps. Like, it's very vibrant, very pretty. It seems like they're doing a lot from a movement standpoint because they're between the vehicle, the new character abilities, that pipeline that lets you transfer between different areas on the map. It looks like they're really focusing on players being able to very actively change where they are on the map, which I'm kind of happy about. I feel like it's going to really speed up the gameplay, and it's I think it's going to make Apex feel very, very different. I feel like this is going to be the first time that we see a massive change of pace for the game.
Yeah, I think there's a couple things they can do to help bring people back, and it's been talked about on a lot of people who've been playing a lot of Warzone and who pop back into it for a little bit and notice like you either drop hot around like 6 teams or you drop it, somewhere far away, grab some weapons, and then you run around and do nothing until the big shootout at the end of the map, and that is just to test it out. Make an LTM where you up the number of people in the lobby.
Mm-hmm.
See how it goes. Put
I will
33
say-
teams in there, so you're at almost 100, 100 people in there,
Mm-hmm.
and see how
Yes.
people like it. If people like it, just do that, and then I think people will like it more, because that's one of the big complaints you hear about that game is you land and then you go, and then you get shot and die.
And honestly, from a content creator standpoint, that's really bad because
Right.
you're literally just chilling there for the beginning. And then
Yeah.
there was a while there. I mean, I don't really do it
From a
anymore. But there was a while there.
streaming content creator side.
Yeah.
Crap out of YouTube, but
Yeah. But like from my end, like for a while there when I was starting to just push every freaking gunfight, it wasn't because I think I'd win it. It's because I was bored and I thought that it would be a good idea to go push something so that there's content, you know, instead of just sitting there looting for an hour. You know, I think that I honestly think that the new character might be a little bit OP. Just
Yeah,
straight
we
out
said
of the
that about
box.
Rampart too, and then it was just like, oh, guess what? This is really easy to fucking kill.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Rampart
I mean,
ended
yeah,
up being
like,
very easy to counter.
day one it was pretty nice, but then as soon as you figured out like, oh look, there's a thing starting to get built, one bullet and it's gone.
Yeah, and I think part of the problem with Rampart, and part of the problem with Loba as well, is that a lot of her abilities were geared towards her. Like, yeah, the deployable cover could be used for your teammates, but it was basically meant you put the deployable cover down, then you pull out the minigun, and then you shoot people. And her passive is completely geared towards her. Passive is, you know, hey, I have, like faster reload time and stuff like that. Where Horizon, I think, is going to make a bigger difference and be used a little bit more is because a lot of her stuff is a little bit more usable by the team. When you're doing a hard push and you use her tactical to get up in the air and get over into cover or behind an enemy or something like that, that's a lot more viable for the team than throwing down a wall that can get one-shotted and is done.
Right.
And then
I
the
hate
black
that
hole
about
being
the
able to
one-shot
pull
thing.
people in so that the whole team can concentrate on them rather than
That's
just a
gonna be-
minigun that's super inaccurate at range.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm real excited to see how OP that is if you just throw it down into someone
Yeah.
behind a wall and just and pew 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 pew.
yeah.
I wonder
how
I wonder if it's gonna pull you like through doors or at least try to. You know. What I mean?
I don't
Oh,
think
yeah.
it's going to pull through cover,
No.
but I'm not 100% sure.
But yeah, back to, I think the kind of semi off topic, but I think Loba's biggest issue for me, and I don't know what reasoning they have behind it other than they can't figure out their whole audio situation. So what I'm about to say maybe doesn't have any merit, but like when you throw the ring, it's super loud. There's
Mhm.
a big giant blue trail. Why, when I teleport, do I need that extra half a second of putting it back on where you're just extremely vulnerable? You hear the noise, you look at it, and you go, wait. All right, you're dead because you got no time to do nothing.
Yeah, pretty much.
I love when
Get rid
Loba
of that.
uses her tactical. Like, just line up a
Big
wingman
buff
and a
for her,
headshot her
just
for 90 when
get
she
rid of
comes
that.
out of it. So, yeah. You do the same. I do the same thing with Wraith because her teleport, when she does it, like when she uses her Q, you can see it and you could time it and you could shoot her as soon as she comes out of it for crazy
And that's-
damage because
and
she's
that's-
defenseless.
Yeah, that's kind of like the one cool thing I think Valorant had going for it with that one character is when he did his teleport, it made a noise, but you have no idea where they went. You could go from one side of a hallway to the other side, and it gives you no indication of what took place.
Well, that was how Moira
Yeah,
was in Overwatch, if you ever played that. When she used her teleport, like, you would see her go into it, and then she would just disappear.
You ever been in a 1v3 and then he does that and like he's the last guy and you're like, well, shit. It turns into a horror movie at that point.
Right.
You're like, okay, where is he? Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? Dead. Damn it.
Yeah. But yeah.
I think adding vehicles honestly might be a good thing though too. I know we kind of touched it a little bit, but I also think it might be a bad thing too because like
I think it depends on how big the map ends up being.
Yeah, so I've heard this map is supposed to be bigger. To what percentage,
Yeah.
I'm not sure, because we only get that one little map screenshot, which is the same overall dimensions as the other map screenshots. So
Yeah.
seeing how really expansive it is once we actually drop in is going to be
I will say
whether that determines if it is or not.
I'm happy about the way that they did the damage to the vehicle in this one. Like in
Mhm.
Warzone, if
I
you're
like
in the truck and that truck's getting shot, you're taking no damage. This, the way that they did it, is if you hit a player while he's in the vehicle, it does direct damage to him, same as you would imagine. But if you just shoot the vehicle, so if you hit the vehicle with a wingman, it does 45 damage. It's doing 15 damage per player. So if there's a full team of 3,
Oh,
it does
really?
15
I
to
read
each person. So it takes the damage and splits it evenly amongst however many people are in the vehicle.
Is that how
which
it's doing it? I knew
that's what
at
I was
some
reading
point,
that it was doing. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because what I had just read the overview of where it doesn't ever like explode on you and become inoperable.
Yep.
But at some point it does start to like light on fire, and at that point you start getting like a burn damage is what I had thought was. I didn't know it just takes a single shot and disperses it.
Yep. Yeah. So it disperses the damage done amongst the players, which is kind of
Still
cool
pretty
because
cool, though.
it punishes. Like I'm just worried. Like if you're a single person, you know, as the last person on your team and you get in that vehicle, you are a big ass target.
Yeah, if you're a singular person on a vehicle and they can just shoot the vehicle and it's a 1-to-1 damage to you, I can't see them doing that. I feel like they had
Yeah.
done some sort of
I
tuning
feel
to
like it'll
that.
probably go through some nerfs over time and buffs over time with the vehicles. It's going to be the first time that they've had a vehicle in Apex. But I am decently excited. There's a lot of room for error, but overall, I think
And
they'll
I
be
mean,
all
and
right.
going back to what we were talking about, where there's like a whole bunch of time where you just literally run around and don't find people. If you have
Mhm.
something that lets you move around even quicker,
Yep.
then hopefully you can find an engagement a lot quicker, and it's not a whole lot of stagnant run in circles time.
Yeah. Plus, it's
I mean,
also
there've
going to
been-
bring a lot of content to the game, too, because the amount of people that have montages of running around running people over in Warzone, now we're going to have that for Apex, too.
True. As long as you can as long as people take damage from getting hit from a vehicle, which I hope so.
I'm pretty sure it said that they do.
I'm literally reading right now that it doesn't. The hover vehicles are designed for rotations and not combat, so you will not be able to run over and hurt players.
Huh. Well, there we go.
If you choose to do this in combat, there are multiple options for other players to counter. Arc stars or Watson fences will instantly stall the vehicle for a moment,
Ooh,
given their time.
That's
Yeah,
kind of
so
cool.
you can.
I
It
like
seems
that.
And from some of the patch notes as well, it seems like they're going to be trying to make Watson a much more viable character as well. Because like I've always liked Watson, but I think they're increasing the damage that her fence does.
Yeah, 10 to 15.
Yeah, and they got some other buffs going on for her as well that seem to be really cool that I'm happy about because I do love Watson. She's one of my favorite characters. Her abilities are really, really strong.
She is very highly picked in high-level tournament play.
One thing that I'm wondering, though, because of the vehicles and a little bit of balance, I wonder, even though the way they're doing it is legit, I wonder if eventually at some point they're going to start to bring in, like, rockets or mines or anything explosive. Because right now there really isn't anything.
You got grenades.
I got grenades.
I think a lot of
I mean,
people
like-
are pretty happy with the fact that there aren't grenade
Yeah.
launchers and RPGs
that was-
and stuff like that.
That's
right
more
now.
what I meant. I meant like, actual weapons that you don't throw, but you just...
The only way I could see that working is if on some map they had like or it could be someone's alt, right? Like how Rampart's got the minigun, right? If you have somebody who can deploy like a stationary something that they can use, and then instead of firing a bunch of bullets at once, it's one large bullet.
Mm-hmm.
I could see that working, or anything that's just on the map as like a stationary thing. But if you could run around and with the movement speed that you have in that game and action slide off a roof and then blast somebody with an RPG, like that's going to be a little much.
Well, keep in mind that's also really easy to balance. Too.
It's going to be a little Fortnite-y.
Yeah, but it's also easy to balance that too because you could just have it so that it's a slow reload time or you move way slower with it.
Or it's a rubber bullet.
Yeah, that too. but yeah, so I'm not
Shoot basketballs at you.
Yeah, I'm not super worried about that. I don't know if they'll do that anytime soon, but I feel like that is like way easier to nerf than it is, some of the other aspects of the game. But
That's fair.
so
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for the vehicles. I'm excited for the map. It doesn't look that big, but whatever. We'll see.
yeah, we'll
Yeah,
see
I mean,
what it
There's a lot
actually
of-
looks
there's
like.
a lot
If
of
they're adding
realize,
vehicles
though.
and the that rift
Mm-hmm.
that rift thing, the phase runner or whatever they call it, like if they're doing that, the map's got to be bigger than what it looks like on that
I've
overview
heard
that
it's
we
supposed
got.
to be. Like I said, I've heard
Yeah.
it's supposed to be.
Because that's one thing with World's Edge that like that map is so big, and like Aku was saying, there's only 60 people, so there's only 30 teams. It's kind of
Mhm.
annoying. There's so much you got to like run halfway across the map. If there was vehicles, man, like on World's Edge alone, if we had the Trident or something like that, you can traverse the map faster. You can actually when Falic's bored and wants to make content and push things faster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
I agree.
it'll be interesting. I wish like normally they do this, and we could be playing it right now, but can't today.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. 11 o'clock tonight. We got
Sorry about
3
your
hours.
midnight release time there, pal.
Yeah, and right. But what was it? The other
Isn't
thing.
that how they used to do games back in the day? You'd go line up outside your local GameStop at midnight, right?
Yo, Halo 2, man, I went into the mall. The mall was closed, but they had the one door open, and it's
Yep.
like, I'm down there at 10 o'clock
Yep.
the night before, and I'm waiting in line, and I got out there at like 4 a.m. I went right to my buddy's place with a bunch of fucking Red Bull, and we just... Actually, I don't even know if Red Bull...
Me and two buddies in Flint, Michigan, which was a horrible life choice, camped out in front of the Best Buy to pick up the Nintendo Wii when it first came out. It was a great
nice.
night.
Oh, man, and stuff like that doesn't happen anymore because I can just go on Amazon. I can pre-order. Yeah, cool,
Yeah,
thank
it
you.
just gets
Awesome.
delivered to you.
Hey, guess what?
I don't
what they
want
had
to
to do
camp
back
outside of the
then.
store at midnight in the winter and freeze my ass off again, and also come home with the Rona. So
Yep.
I'll just stay home and just pre-order stuff online.
Yep.
And now the day before it comes out, hey, guess what? My stuff showed up.
Yep.
Weird.
Now, all right, now we're going like a full wraparound. That was the nostalgia part of gaming, though. Back then, that was the point of it, though. Like there was no add-ons, there was no nothing. Once you got the game, you got the game, and that was it. And waiting for it
Game
and all that. That was the best part, though. I love that part, though. Like you get all excited and you go with your friends, like you're saying. It's just I don't know.
For those of
I
you
think-
listening, Nova just got up to go find something.
What the heck?
What?
Okay,
What
so
hell?
That's a tree.
one thing, no, yeah, kind of. One thing that I hate about video games now in digital copies, seriously, I will pay extra money, like you guys seen the Halo helmet, like
Mhm.
I will go to a store, I will pay the extra money, I will buy the $150, $200 version of a game to
I got
get
one of these
something
too. Hold on.
physical. Like this year from Assassin's Creed,
Oh, nice.
Assassin's Creed 2, right? Connor, I saw this. I already had the game, but I didn't have this one. I bought it. So then I got two versions of the game just because I wanted that. You don't have that anymore. Like,
Yeah.
where'd that go?
I have the when Fallout 4 came out, I got like the expensive edition of the game that came with the Pip-Boy that goes on your arm that you could put an iPhone
Yes,
in.
I've seen your Pip-Boy, yes.
Yes, and like it came with the steel case for the game and everything like that. They do that with games now, but like I feel like what you get is just so crap anymore. It's very
well,
few
like,
and far
I
between
know
that
with
there's a really good collector's edition of a game.
Yeah, like I'm not sure. You guys must have heard my story with Cyberpunk and how EB Games or our GameStop like fucked me over hard.
You guys
with that.
still have EB Games?
Yeah, we do.
We used to, but they they got guillotined a long time ago.
All right, Aku, I'm curious. What the hell are you doing?
I bought the Super Deluxe Collector's Edition of Star Wars: The Old Republic when it came out. Got myself
badass.
a fancy-ass Darth Malgus statue.
Nice.
Nice.
Now that I've taken my computer off the top of my desk, I actually have a place to put it now, so I decided to grab it.
Sweet. There you go.
Boom.
Yeah.
Overall, it's just not the same how it used to be, but I understand why.
No.
It's more convenient, so.
Yeah.
But that's the annoying thing too, is because I'm still paying. Like I'm paying like Cold War there. I got the same thing. Like I bought the $100 edition, and it's like I got nothing to show for it. I guess.
But
There's something, even if you don't get like a cool collectible, there's something to be said, at least for console games, that I just like having the physical disc and the
I
case.
hated the discs because then you got to swap them out. It was nice just having it on the system.
These are two.
Yeah.
These are two physical copies of fucking Apex Legends I got. I got the
You
Bloodhound
didn't.
and the Lifeline. Yes, I did.
Oh.
But yeah,
Like I heard the game's free. I already had it. I had the game for a year or whatever before those came out, and I was like, you know what? I want them because they're physical. And I got them in my hand.
And I even did you one worse. I paid for the extra Octane edition because I wanted the skins, but I didn't get a fancy cool box I can now put up on my wall.
So yeah, and that's the
Stupid.
thing. So the Octane edition, and there was a Pathfinder one, I think
Yep.
too.
Those
Yeah,
are digital.
with the
only, though.
militarized Pathfinder.
Yeah, they stopped doing this whole physical thing, and it's just digital. I'm like, well, I want, like, if I could get a character, like every character in like every Legend a physical copy, I would. I'm stupid. I would do that.
I almost spent the money to buy every one of the Funko Pops for the Apex Legend characters when those came out.
Yep.
I should have.
Right?
I didn't. I spent stuff on fake things that I can't actually use in real life, but here we are.
We're consumers.
Hey, I didn't buy the hammer. As much as I wanted the hammer, I don't play Caustic enough.
There
and
were
I
like
decided not
3
to.
skins from that event that looked good. And I got 2 of them, and I had crafting materials to make them.
I never even played a single bit of that event. Not one.
Yeah.
Which one?
I played
The
when the
Caustic
event
one.
was live, but we
Oh.
didn't play any of the event of special modes or anything like that.
I haven't played Apex Legends in I don't know how long. We played it the other day, and I was like, oh man. So yeah,
Doesn't it feel good when you hit crouch and slide and you keep sliding? Yeah.
it's great. And then you go back to Warzone, and you're like, ugh.
I think.
I got some.
Sorry, one more thing about this. I think also they need to do an LTM where you run around. Everything's the exact same as a normal one, except you have the movement of the shadow creatures from the last Halloween event. Where you just people crawling up stuff and flying and super double jumping everywhere. I think that would be awesome.
It was basically just
I,
Lucio from Overwatch.
Yeah,
I got some leaked
everybody can do
info.
that.
I got some leaked info of the next Legend that's releasing.
Oh, you
We
Anyone
already
wanna guess
know
what it
everything
is?
about the legend.
No, not the one that's coming out tonight. The one after this.
Ah, what?
I've read leaks on at least 30 legends total so far.
Here, hold on. I got a picture.
He's
of it.
trying
One
to make
second.
him.
Here,
I'm
Yep,
waiting
but
for it.
Falic's got an in. Falic knows somebody.
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. The next Apex Legend.
Hell yeah.
That should just be a gimme.
Wait,
skin, if
didn't
I'm being
Fortnite
honest.
already do the Marvel thing?
They
It's
did.
true.
Well, it's about time Apex copies Fortnite instead of the other way around.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of sharing back and forth. I mean, if you look at World's Edge, once it changed and became ice and everything like that, that was almost a direct copy of Fortnite's like Season 5 map, I think it was, when they made everything glacial. There's a lot that they've taken from each other.
Yeah, but when Apex hit the market and had the you're dead, but you can get respawned, that was like,
Yeah.
like everybody in the VR
And it
zone.
took Fortnite like 3 weeks to implement it.
Yeah.
Like,
Speaking of maps being screwed up and like changed, how the hell is Hammond Robotics still in business after the amount of times they've screwed up?
I don't know, man.
That's like the BP oil spill. It's like, oh, we're sorry.
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 Look at Jurassic Park and Engine. Hello.
Right?
Yeah.
Have
sense.
you met our country?
It doesn't surprise me at all.
Or just people in general, but like specifically us.
Yeah, but all right. So that's some information about the new COD, the new Apex, a little bit of our nostalgia in there with the old games, everything like that. So this has been episode 4 of the Falic Exchange. We appreciate
That's why
you
we
guys
have
all
more
tuning
people.
in. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to subscribe and give a little thumbs up. If you're on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or anything like that, make sure you guys leave a like, review, anything like that. It helps out with all of that and all of their algorithms and all that BS. So we really appreciate it. But yeah,
Tell
so
your
this
friends.
this has been episode 4, Fate the Tatted Hate. We got Falic, Aku, and
My dog was
Nova.
ignoring me.
So appreciate you guys. Hope everybody has
Nova,
a
thanks for
great,
coming.
great day.
Yeah,
Thank you
thanks
for
for
coming and
coming by,
joining us,
It was
Nova.
fun. Stop yelling at me.
Seriously.
No.
Come on, Falic. What are you doing, dude? Relax, man. Just calm down.
Dude, you're silent.
I
You're
can't
silent.
talk over everybody. There's 4 people here, and it's like a mic, and it's just like, eh.
I just had to put that. I was like, Nova, say shit.
It's like, I'm trying, but you won't shut up.
First time?
No,
Oh,
not
fuck
even.
off.